welcome to the Sunday show. It is me, Michelle Thole. I am here every Sunday at 7 p.m. I've got a bit of Eminem going on. Woohoo! Once it kicks in, you know what this song's like. It takes about 10-20 seconds before it even bloody kicks in. So, what have I got in store for you today? We are going to be talking about failure. Oh, failure. We're going to be talking about worthiness. And we're also going to be talking about... What are we going to do? Aha! Focus. I'm only joking. I knew exactly what it was. Yes! Thank you so much for joining me. Hi to everyone who's just joined. I've had a great week, actually. I wonder what week you've had out there. Welcome to the Sunday show. Woo! So, what is the Sunday show? The Sunday show is for creative entrepreneurs. That is you. It's fashion bunnies, singers, dancers, actors, comedians. It is sewers, bloggers, entrepreneurs out there, coaches, anyone who has a service-based business and uses themselves as the face of it. So this is it. This is what is for you. I make this especially for you guys. So let's get on with it. Shall we get on with it? Let's get on with it. We'll have that right in the background. Let's start off with the business stuff. Let's get into the insider stuff, guys. And it's about failure, about using failure in your business as an actual strategy. Now, hang on a second. How can you use failure as a strategy? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, there are three things you can do to identify failure and to make it work for you. So let's get onto it. Let me get into the first one. I'll show you that later, actually. So, number one, the first thing is this. Identify what exactly is the failure in your business. So let's get a real life example. Let's say you were doing your taxes and you set a deadline that you wanted to get your taxes done in a week. And you worked hard, but it actually took you a month. And it's a massive failure for you because you wanted to get it done on time. You wanted to feel as if you were in control, that everything you were doing was the right thing. So, why is it a failure? Well, you can see it as, well, it's way over the time in which you allowed it to happen. But let's go a bit deeper into this and what actually makes it a failure. What makes your failure a failure? Is it, in this instance, the time? Is it that maybe it brought up some money stuff for you that you haven't dealt with yet, and every time you went to do the taxes, it just slowed you down, and so it took a little bit longer? So the failure was in not being forward thinking, really, in how the emotions take hold in a business. You know, that sometimes can be a little sideline. We don't want to think about emotions in business. It's all strategy. But this is about using those emotions to create that strategy. So you've got the taxes. It could be the time. It could be that you've had the money stuff come up, as it usually does, the money stuff. It could also be that you just had a really bad time, the expectation of how long it would take, which I guess is time, but it's also expectation behind it. So the expectation was so far out from reality. And so that made it a disappointment. You're disappointed in yourself, you know? So what about the failure? So the failure is you didn't get it in on time, but what about it made it a failure? You expected to have it done, it wasn't done, so you were disappointed that your expectation wasn't met. You didn't give yourself enough time, so your time management wasn't good. It could be that, like I say, about the money stuff. So once you've identified exactly what makes your failure a failure, then you can move on to number two. And number two is how to change it. So for instance, with the money, with the tax, what you can do is say, okay, so money stuff comes up for me. So I remember that from last year. Money stuff comes up for me. So it took me 3 times as long to do my taxes. So I'm going to realistically plan a time to do my taxes 3 times longer than what I would do. So this time, actually, just for safekeeping, I'll probably do it for 6 weeks. And then if I do it in a month, I'll be pleasantly surprised. So then, number three is to forgive yourself. This is a massive step when it comes to failure, because it's also the thing that will keep you, I meant to press that, paused, not turn it up. But anyway, if that guilt will stop you in your tracks and will make you make the same mistakes over and over again, because sometimes you just don't want to think about a failure and then you forget that you made it. Have you ever done this? Where you forget you've actually failed at something and then you do it again, you're like, oh, why did I do this again? You know, it reminds me a lot about, you know, putting weight on, losing weight, putting weight on, losing weight. This third step of forgiving yourself is vitally important, because you have to move forward from a space of love and rather than a space of, I did something really stupid, or you know, it didn't work, it means I'm a failure. No, it just means you did something that didn't work. And I've got a quote actually, and it's from Thomas Edison, who said, you're the guy that invented the light bulb, him. He said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that it didn't work. And I love that, because actually you tried 10,000 times to make a light bulb, and on the 10,001, I mean, don't get me wrong, this might be wrong, but you know, I like the dreaminess of this quote, but on the 10,001th attempt, he did it. And like, you know, I've got light right now in this room because of him. So how incredible is that? Keep going, keep going. So that's the business stuff. And I'll do a little quick recap for you. Here we are. Why did your failure fail? Why did it fail? Was that you didn't set a good expectation, time, you know, money stuff. How can you change it? How can you change it for next time so you're not making the same mistake over and over again? And learn to forgive yourself, to move on, and just to have it as a learning experience. Which brings me to my little added bit of the business stuff, which is the two things I believe you need in your business right now, whether that is you are a blogger and you're making money blogging and doing affiliate links, whether you sell courses, whether you are an actor and you're a self-employed actor going from job to job. This is what you need in your business right now. It's this. It's a notebook. And what I'd like you to do is get 2 notebooks. This number 1 notebook can be a notebook for your successes. And what I want you to do is every business strategy that goes right, put it in here. Everything that happens to you in your life that feels right, you put it in your notebook. And then you have a notebook of business successes. And then I want you to pick up another one. Let me get my other one because it's a nice colour. Oh, there it is. Then I want you to pick up another notebook. And in this notebook, you are going to put learnings. So to you and I, they're failures, but I like to kind of change it up and say learnings. So in here, you're going to write down everything that didn't work and what you would do differently. So these exact steps I've just talked to you about would go in your learning book. And then what happens is, say you've had a few failures, learnings, you would pick up the success book and you would read it and you'd say, actually, I'm doing something right because I've got some successes in here, and maybe I can try this again and see if it works out. You know, maybe I've got a strategy in here that worked before that I hadn't tried for a long time. Get this book out, get remotivated. Then, when you've got a big decision to make, do you know those decisions where only you can make, and it doesn't matter how many people you go and ask, you still have to make the decision and come from your own kind of area of expertise and wisdom? Well, this is the time to get the learnings book out, because you can read through your learnings, failures, and then actually figure out whether you're going to make the same mistake twice, or whether there's any tips or wisdom in your learnings book that could actually help you in making that decision. So those are the 2 little tools you need in your business right now for it to be a massive success. Because sometimes as we go through, our businesses can move really quickly, especially if you have an area of expansion, which is fantastic, but sometimes we don't give time for what made that expansion happen. And in writing these amazing things down in your books, I mean, even if they are failures, it doesn't matter. Every failure is a step to your success. Every failure is a step to your success. And these 2 books will be the journals in which have the blueprint of your business in it. So have fun, and I hope that's helped with the business stuff. So right now we are moving on to my favourite section of the week, even though I shouldn't really say that because they're all really good, is the cuteness of the week. And cuteness of the week today comes from something that not everyone likes these, but I tell you what, look how amazing these pigeons are. Now, I grew up with pigeons when I was a child, and I know people think they're rats with wings, but I completely disagree on so many levels. I think they are so intelligent. I mean, can you fly in the air and know how to get home? Like, somebody could let you go in Scotland and you have this GPS system in you that actually takes you home. How incredible are these birds? They are amazing. I love the noises they make, and I also think they're very gentle and they've got a lovely personality. And I know you're thinking, a pigeon? But honestly, they've had a bad rap over the last, say, 20 years. But I would love to kind of just bring back, I'm doing a bit of PR for pigeons. Hashtag PR for pigeons. Now, if you have a look at the pigeon on the left, that is a red. That colour is called red. And then if you look at the pigeon on the right, that is a checkered coloured pigeon. And I'm guessing they're both cocks. Yes, I said it on the Sunday show, hashtag cocks. I love the colour of their eyes, and you can actually tell whether a bird is has a good breed, is being bred well by the colour of their eyes. And I remember my dad having like the racing pigeon, or whatever it was called, his magazine growing up, and they used to have just pictures of pigeons' eyeballs in this magazine, but obviously you could tell by the different flecks in the eyeball, what stock it was from and how well bred it was. So I'm guessing that has something to do with the GPS thing, but who knows? So I thought I would bring PR for pigeons, hashtag PR for pigeons on the Sunday show, and I just loved, look at the colours of their feathers. I just think they're just incredible. And although we see them on a daily basis, I know in Britain we do anyway, don't ever overlook them. And also, here's me on my soapbox, respect them. They have just as much right to be on this planet as we do, and just because there's a lot of them and they have this bad PR, it doesn't mean we can't respect them. So I thought I would, like I say, hashtag PR for pigeons on the Sunday show. That's the cuteness of the week. I just thought they were super cute myself, so I thought I'd add it in. We are moving on really swiftly to the confidence and resilience stuff. And the confidence and resilience stuff is all about worthiness this week. The reason I've chosen worthiness is because I've spoken to a lot of people this week that literally are like crying out for assurance, for confidence, and reassurance, confidence, and just this feeling that they belong in the world. And I just wanted to say that you do belong. You do belong here, and in stepping into your worthiness and being your true self, being your authentic self, is the biggest gift we could ever bring to this earth. So what is it about worthiness, and how can it create confidence? Well, I want you to think back to a time where maybe you started in the exact same position as somebody else, and you were at the same skill level, same kind of like name tag, you had the same salary wage at the end of the month. But then move forward a year later and they are like a manager of a manager, and you're probably still in the same position. What is it about those people that gets them like skyrocketing to where they want to go, whereas you're just kind of like, okay, I'll just stay where I am? It's the confidence to move forward, but it's also the worthiness to know that they deserve better things for themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that if you are out there right now and your business isn't where you want it to go, that I don't believe you don't feel like you're worthy. But how about feeling like you could upscale? And in that worthiness of upscaling, even just to the next level. So if you've got one client, okay, I'm going to get two. If you've got one audition, right, I'm gonna get 2 auditions. So upscaling your business to the next level because you're worthy of it. And if you feel any resistance, that's the reason you're not there yet, because there's still resistance. Worthiness is literally as easy as dropping a sheet of paper. You just let it go. It isn't, there are my notes on there, by the way, so I'm gonna go grab them. I'm back. It's something that is just as easy as that, you know. And when you have it, it's like, do you know when people are in love and then you see other people who are not in love and they just, I'm never going to be in love. But people who are in love are just like, well, you're just in love or you're not. It's something that you possess. It isn't something that you collect. As I always say with confidence, it isn't something you collect like a Super Mario coin in a game, you know. So my challenge this week is to step into your worthiness. I'm going to pop the challenge up here actually, so you can look at it. Here we go. There we are. Step up and choose to do something worthy. So for instance, if your business right now is kind of struggling to kind of gain traction, then step into it. Step into your worthiness and say, I will get an extra client this week. I'm going to get an extra audition this week. I am going to get someone to buy my course this week because I am worthy. Because I'm worthy enough. My product is great. It's going to happen for me. And then I want you to take action. So this is the next part. Take action. Take action out of your comfort zone. This is also a great idea when these notepads come in. Look at your successes and your learnings. You know, what was successful before? How did you get a client before? How did you get an extra audition before? How did you get somebody to pay for your course before? You know, do these steps again. It might be that you've forgotten some of the steps. So go back and do the steps again. And then be seen, be heard, and make your mark, because nobody in this world who is worthy is a wallflower. When you're worthy of something, you get it. When you're worthy of something, you don't ask permission, you just take a step forward. You just take a step forward and do it. So where in your life right now can you be taking a step forward into your worthiness and be seen, be heard, and make your mark? I hope you have a great time this week with that challenge. Yay, I love a good challenge. So we're going to be moving on really quickly to my mantra. Mantra of the week. All I need is within me now. This mantra is from a Tony Robbins mantra from, what program is it from? Unleash the Power Within. It's a mantra that has served me so well. Do you know sometimes when you just don't believe it? Like, oh, do you know, I don't believe that I'm ever going to be 10 pounds lighter. All I need is within me now. All the information I need is within me now. All the strength I need is within me now. All the motivation I need, all the health I need is within me now. The person I am going to become is within me now. You know, start believing all you need is within you now to make it happen. Because actually, in order to take any step forward, all you have is all that you have within you. So start believing that it's actually the right thing, and it will be the right thing you need to take you forward the next step. So that's the mantra of the week. I hope you like it. It's one of my favourites actually. And I love a good mantra. Now, I'm not quite sure whether you guys know much about mantras, so I'm just going to say it to you anyway. A mantra is something that is going to be on a repeat. All I need is within me now. All I need is within me now. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is what happens when I'm walking down the street. All I need is within me now. Mantras are so much better when you say them out loud and you vocalize them, you say them, you express them. All I need is within me now, and really believe it. If you're just saying in your head, all I need is within me now, it's okay, but it has to be within you. Like, you have to live it within me, as in that's the mantra, but you know what I mean. You have to live it, and by getting your body moving, getting your brain to engage is the best thing for a mantra. Go out on a really lovely walk and do your mantras, because what happens with a mantra is they don't they're not supposed to change your mind. They're not supposed to even make you believe it right there and then. You have to force the belief sometimes. Even though you don't believe it, you still have to say it. And then over a couple of weeks doing your mantras, you will do the mantra and it just gets easier, because what's happened is the belief seeps down into your subconscious. So we're working on a subconscious level, and not to get into any hypnosis or whatever, because it's not that, but we'll work with the subconscious level of your brain, and in doing that you will then feel better. And honestly, do not take my word for it. Whatever I'm saying right now, do not take my word for it. However, put it into practice, and in 2-3 weeks time, if you've said these mantras every single day, that you're on a walk, all I need was within me now, I can do this, you know, all those types of mantras. Go back on episode 1, 2 and 3 of the Sunday show. We have a mantra every week. Go back, look at the mantras, add them in all together, go for a walk, and in 2 weeks time, in 2 or 3 weeks time, your life will start changing. And like I said to you, do not believe me. Go out and make it happen for yourself. And then you can come back and tell me all the amazing changes you've had. That's how much I believe in mantras. That's how much I believe in affirmations. And if they work for me, they're going to work for you. So let me know your success stories and write them in your success books. So that is our mantra of the week. Woohoo! We're now moving on to personal development and intuition stuff. See, I'm going to do a few dance moves to each of these sections. La 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 la. It's going to be on focus today. So personal development and intuition stuff is going to be on focus. The reason why is because I went for a coffee with my friend, and I sat there and I realised that I'd had my phone on the table. And at certain points when there was a bit of silence, I started looking at my phone, and I spoke about silence last week in episode 3 of the Sunday show. So if you want to know all about silence, the whole episode was geared around silence and how shutting up in your life can actually be a benefit. So you're more than welcome. It's on my Facebook page, Michelle Thole, life coach. So go ahead and check that one out. But I was in the coffee shop and I kept looking down at my phone, and I thought, hang on a second. I'm not focused here, I'm not present. And so I put my phone away, and I'm just wondering, where in your life right now is your focus being shifted? Have you ever had the moment where you're doing some business stuff, or you're paying a bill, or I'm just trying to think of something else, like you're having an email with a client, and then all of a sudden you find yourself 20 minutes later watching a YouTube video of a cat playing a piano, or you're playing Candy Crush, or you're scrolling on Facebook, messaging to, I know, you're probably playing that quiz of what Game of Thrones character is your spirit animal. You know what I mean? Well, that is your focus being taken away. The reason people make money in this capitalist society in which we live is because of attention, of where you're putting your attention. And if somebody can take your attention away from what is very vital and important to you, then they have a monopoly on your life. Because let me tell you something, what you focus on becomes your life. What you focus on becomes your life. So if you're focusing on things that have no relevance to your life whatsoever, they're numbing agents, you are not going to have the most enriched, wealthy, fun, vibrant, adventurous life that you could possibly have. But if you focus on bringing joy and kindness and love and presence and inspiration to everyone you meet and every message that you send and in every interaction you have with somebody in the street, how different of a focus is that in your life? How different would your life be? Now, I know what you're probably going to say. It's not a bad thing to scroll on Facebook. It isn't a bad thing to find out which Game of Thrones spirit animal you are. However, if that is the majority of the time you spend online, then it will have a negative effect on you, because actually, do those things in the grand scheme of life really matter? So let's go with this. What you focus on becomes your life. So focus on positive aspects of your life and notice things that are taking your attention away from your life and what you actually had planned. So if it is like, what was I trying to do the other day? I think I was trying to pay a bill. I literally was there for about an hour because I then watched something and then I did something else and I did something else. Your focus is so important to get things done, to have a life of meaning, and to also add, your authenticity into the world. Because if somebody's always taking your attention away, how can you ever be present enough to make a difference? And also increase awareness and change according to your goals. So for instance, if you're finding that your focus is really, it's all over the place, well, that's your awareness. You're aware that your focus is going. So focus on focusing. It kind of works, doesn't it? But focus on focusing. Change your goals to fit in to that focus. So if my goal is to pay the bill, I'm going to pay the bill. And I'm going to focus on paying the bill, rather than allowing my focus to drift off like some kite on a windy day. You know, it's vitally important if you want to change your life, if you want to make things better, if you want to feel like you're actually living your life rather than life pushing forward and moving you into a direction that you don't want. If that is the case right now, if in your business you are feeling as if you're not in control, if you feel as if your relationships aren't the way they should be, they're not strong, they're not loving, if you want a relationship and you don't have a relationship, choose to focus on that area. Focus on positive things and see what happens. See what happens. Because where your focus goes, where energy goes, focus flows. I can never remember that saying, but what I mean is, when you're laser focused on something in a positive way, only positive things can happen. So go out, be great, shine your light as bright as you can, and it's been great. The Sunday show's gone really quickly today, hasn't it? I'm going to finish off with a bit of Eminem. Thank you so much for joining me. It's absolutely amazing to be with you, to share everything I know about failure and worthiness and focus. Have an amazing week. It's lovely to connect with you. Please message me. Let me know how your mantras are going. Let me know how your business is going, how your life is changing. If there's anything I haven't covered that you'd like me to cover, just message me. I'm always here for you, always happy to help. And just remember, the music needs to be turned down for this. You are always stronger than fear. So don't let fear run the show. Stand up tall, be seen, be heard, and live your life the way you want to live it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next Sunday at 7 p.m. for the Sunday show. Bye guys, have an awesome week. Bye!